Hi there, it's Fred and Fred. Thanks for tuning in to Guitar Media and welcome to Guitar Media's Will It Play video. We're here today to take a look at this circa 2000s first act in black. When we first got this guitar in, the sound was very low. The guitar was missing a couple of saddles and a couple of strings, and there seemed to be a nickel rolling around somewhere inside the guitar. We quickly disassembled the guitar, located the nickel, and have since removed it. I took my multimeter and put it on the K-ohm selection, and I put the comm lead on the ground and on the volume pot specifically. And the black lead on my multimeter is the positive lead, and I put that on one of the leads of the volume control, which would naturally be the input, and it read about 6.8, and I put it on the output with the volume on 10 and all the way up position, and I was getting nothing. So this was a direct indication that the volume pot itself was not functioning and needed to be replaced. We just so happened to have an extra PV Rockmaster body kicking around, and so I removed one of the pots from the PV Rockmaster and got our first act up and running. So I just want to sort of break down the reason why I did this. Actually, the first thing I did was I checked the jack with the meter, and what we're doing here is actually conducting a continuity check. So I got nothing. I got nothing on the jack, and so I knew that the sound was low, and it's basically telling me that there's an open in the circuit of the guitar. So I quickly took the guitar apart, and the reason I went to the volume pot It's actually because in a lot of guitars, like this guitar, the pickup is directly connected to the volume pot. And so this is the first place we're going to check inside the guitar with the multimeter for continuity. And interesting enough, it turns out that the pickup did not have an open and did get a reading of 6.8. However, the potentiometer was not passing the continuity test on the output. And while this may have been able to be cleaned or repaired in some way, it was just more convenient for me to replace the pot with a functioning pot to get our first act up and running. Weighing in at 6 pounds, 6.8 ounces, this guitar is pretty light. And once again, the pickup reads 6.8k ohms on my meter. And this pickup works pretty good. It's not overly microphonic whatsoever. And it's also not really high output, although it does seem very loud to be only 6.8k ohms. For the complete setup on this guitar, we replaced the strings, polishing the frets with steel wool. We checked the truss rod to ensure that the neck was straight. We also added a couple of saddles to the bridge and checked the micro adjustments to make sure all the string heights were individually set so that we don't have any extra buzzing. And we intonated it by measuring from the nut to the 12th fret and from the 12th fret to the saddle, ensuring that the distance is just slightly longer from the 12th fret to the saddle. We also added a bar from another guitar and removed one of the springs from the tremolo system to make it operate more easily. Filing the nut just a little bit to make sure that the string height is perfect for chording. This also helps with the tuning for chords. And finally, we adjusted the height of the pickup to get it as close to the strings without the strings hitting the pickup. We have also found that on inexpensive guitars, it's fairly common to tighten the screws, all of the screws at the tuners, and this really can set the tuners and really help the inexpensive guitar tuners to hold tune quite a lot better. Alright, we start off plugging this baby straight into the 1970 Marshall Super PA amp, which is a 100 watt amp, and our close microphone is the Sennheiser E835. Our speakers are the 1969 Celestion T1217s. Our room microphone is the Nady RSM4 ribbon microphone on top of the cabinet. We also use the Worm by Electro Harmonics 24 volt analog modulation effect, as well as the original Crybaby by Jim Dunlop. A little later in the video, we plug into the 1965 Fender Pro Reverb, and we change over to the 1969 Jensen C12N with the chrome dome, same microphones, and we also use the creamback Rick Cone 1974 G12H Celestions in the cabinet behind me, and they do have the bass resonance of 55 hertz. If you'd like to support the channel or see some of our videos ranking higher in the Google and YouTube search engines, please like, comment, and subscribe, as this is absolutely free and the best way to support the channel. If you'd like to see some more of our videos, we also have many different YouTube channels, including Guitar Media 2, Guitar Media 3, Music Media, and the EDM Fred Sweet channel, where you can search and find many more of our videos. Thanks for watching, and check our channel for our latest videos.